Again, doing some sterling work there on the red carpet, trying to get as many of the dignitaries as we possibly can, bring them to you as you watch the SABC in the comfort of your own home. So it's fantastic that you've chosen us and that you're going to stay with us, because we're going to bring everything to you live as it happens. We've got three of our reporters stationed on the red carpet. We have Lulama, we've also got Asanda, and we've got Griselda, who are grabbing as many guests as they possibly can. And it's been quite an interesting red carpet already. We can see some of the ladies posing there and looking absolutely gorgeous, as the atmosphere appears to be very jovial and very happy here today. And we as South Africans, of course, are looking for a lot of answers and a lot of talk from our president today. I've got a guest with me that is going to talk more to the economy and hopefully to find out, what the president is going to say. And it's a pleasure to have you here with us, Makwe Masilela, who's from Makwe Funding. So, Makwe, you're looking, as most of us are, for hints from President Ramaphosa as to how we're going to rectify and fix this economy.
By all means, and I think a lot have been said. We had so many summits, from the job to the investment summit. We had a lot of speeches, including the manifesto. It's a question of getting the actual programs, that this is what we're going to be doing to reduce unemployment. This is what we'll be doing to make sure that the economy grows. And just to look at the things, almost more than half the population is living beyond poverty line, meaning people living with less than 29 rands a day. That cannot be right. You check your Gini coefficient, it's sitting at almost 0.64. That's one of the highest in the world, so meaning inequality is very high. So as much as we want to see some policy growth, we want to see economic growth, it's also important that those growth policies, they talk to our social policies, because or else you'll have a situation where you get a nice economic growth, but only the few benefit out of that. So you also have to make sure that they talk to our social policies. Social policies as from the likes of early childhood development, education, health, stuff like that is very important. And I think there are so many countries that we can learn from where they manage to do all that, whether it's your Scandinavian countries or your East Asian countries. So there's a lot that we can learn from.
Yeah, Makwe, I'm going to talk to you again. We want to just go back to the red carpet. We'll keep on doing this, crisscrossing in between the red carpet and here in the studio. But I think you want to go back to the red carpet like I do. And let's meet our brand new minister, and possibly the youngest minister to take on this portfolio, the Minister of Justice, Ronald Lamola. And I know that he is with Griselda.
Well, that's right, Leanne. Quite right there. The youngest Justice Minister, Ronald Lamola, is joining us now with a beautiful lady next to him. Ladies first, Justice Minister. Absolutely beautiful, ma'am. Tell us what your dress is inspired by and who made it. It's beautiful.
The dress is by myself. I own a boutique in Midrand, so it's my own collection. And I think it's inspired by new beginnings. For my husband, I'm so proud of him. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Congratulations. I didn't know. Justice Minister, a big day. You're also coming into this administration. A lot of expectations from you, in particular as a young person. What are you expecting the President to say today?
Obviously, is to speak about following the money that has been stolen from the public purse, so that we are able to restore investor confidence, also to deal with issues of corruption and deterrence, but also to give hope to the youth of South Africa who are ravaged by unemployment. I think that will be a big focus, and also in relations to some of the SOEs that are in financial distress. How do we have a sustainable model for all the SOEs in South Africa?
All right, let's bring it a bit to your portfolio. I just remember a few days ago you had been outside, or you actually visited court after there'd been an incident, of rival gangs emanating from Westbury. A few hours ago, there'd been a statement that was sent out about a police officer that was arrested allegedly for, one would say, for the protection of one of these so-called gangsters, alleged gangsters. Let's get your input on that, the challenges that you obviously have to deal with pertaining to that.
Yeah, obviously we must condemn any incidents of illegality coming from law enforcement agencies, from anyone who is expected to enforce the law. Society expects that they should play a role of protecting, enforcing, and ensuring that society feels free and in our country and safe. So it's our responsibility. But with regard to the court safety and the various issues. I've requested a report from the department, which we are going to have soon, which we are going to ensure that we also have engagements with the Minister of Police, which we already had, to ensure that our courts throughout the country are a place where justice is dispensed freely, fairly, and without fear.
All right, thank you very much for your time. You have a great evening. You look absolutely beautiful, ma'am. All right, let's go to my colleague now, Asanda Mbeche.
Welcome back. We have now the leader of the Inkatha Freedom Party, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. You'll excuse the noise behind us because the announcements that are being made right here. Prince, as we come into the 6th Parliament, what are the things that you would want the President to address this evening?
Well, of course, I know that the major thing that we expect him to address are what he called 9 wasted years, where our country has gone down right in the dumps. We expect him to tell us about how he proposes to get us out of that rut.
There are a lot of issues that the 6th Parliament has to deal with. One of them is the issue of land. There were concerns about where the IFP stands on the issue of land in the 5th Parliament. Okay. What is the IFP's position around how Parliament must address the land question?
Well, I think that all of us, agree that it's overdue that land should be given to its owners. So we believe in expropriation without compensation, but with compensation. There's a difference. Because I think if this issue is not handled with care, it can really, put us into a lot of social problems.
This Parliament has seen a bit more of a generational mix between the old and the new, and there are questions whether one of its most senior members, being yourself, will stay on for the full term of the 6th Parliament. Will you stay with the 6th Parliament?
Why is that?
Will you be staying with the 6th Parliament to guide the young people that have joined?
The theme today is the President's speech. If you want to interview me about that, the phone number of my is 073 9291 60. You can phone her.
Thank you very much for talking to us. That's the leader of the IFP saying he is not going to comment directly on whether he will stay throughout the full term of the 6th Parliament. I was hoping to interview one of the youngest MPs that are joining the 6th Parliament, Nompendulo Mkhatshwa. As you join the 6th Parliament, what is the youth agenda for you?
Youth agenda. I mean, of course, my agenda will come from what the mandate of the African National Congress, all right? But what's most important as a young black woman, as a member of the African National Congress Women's League Young Women's Days, that we need to address gender-based violence in our society, all right? We need to ensure that young women are educated. We need to ensure that young women have opportunity to participate in the economy, and we need to ensure that young women feel free on the streets of South Africa, right? You can't be in fear in a country where that is the only citizenship which you have. And I really hope that the President speaks to that. So yeah, young women to the front. Education is a necessity because we know that it plays a huge role in our participation in the economy.
Talking about education, you were part of the earlier generation of the Fees Must Fall movement. This week, young people at universities were protesting to NSFAS offices about outstanding issues. Can they still rely on you to push their issues in the 6th Parliament so that whatever still needs to be addressed on free tertiary education will be addressed?
We need to rely on a collective of individuals. There's no one person who can change the system. It's very important that as young people we learn to collaborate and cooperate, right? So it's a collective of individuals who will make a difference. Not only those of us who sit in Parliament, but also those who must advocate on the streets, who must protest on the streets, those who must bring forth the proposals in writing, right? Because we're producing graduates, right? So they must come forth and say, well, this is how I think we can fund the system even better. So it's a huge matter that we must acknowledge. The government has ensured that young people from households with an income of 300,000 and less have access to free education, right? But we are well aware of the fact that there are many glitches in the system and we need to address that. We need to fix those glitches and we need to even push for further access to higher education and training.
Nompendulo, thank you very much for joining us. That's Nompendulo Mkhatshwa, one of the young MPs that are joining the 6th Parliament. I understand my colleague Criselda Lewis is standing by with another guest.